Hello YouTube, welcome back to my silly survival world. In today's episode, well, yesterday I said that I wanted to try and move away from the garden a little bit. However, partway through that episode, I had such a fun idea, and it is pretty much the only thing I have really thought about. Okay, now that sounds a little dramatic, but it is the only Minecraft related thing I have thought about since, because it's just honestly really like the idea of a big dramatic staircase here. I can really see this taking shape as something. Now, this could be a little packed garden space, like we could have all sorts of plants growing on the in-between, and then on the other side, something that would then connect out to whatever bridge we have for this area. But it would definitely help close off what is left to connect this portion of the garden down to everything else that is going to expand in this direction. Yeah, I'm thinking a lot of this down here is going to be a little bit flatter whenever we do get to making the majority of it. This right here is probably going to set the standard though. So I guess let's go ahead and I have a stone cutter on me, which I'm kind of surprised about actually. It wasn't intentional, but it works out very nicely. So we can begin framing out a little something here. So let's call these the two sides. It is getting dark, but let's call that the two sides, right? I want to be able to fit the base of a statue right here, so I am going to have to think about the size of statue that I want to go with, and I think I know both of the statues I want to make, honestly, but we'll see if we get there today. Okay, I'm thinking that 7 blocks of space probably would be pretty good so that I have 5 for the base at least. So we have a gap and then 5 for the base, or maybe we want to start here and then do 5 for the base, so it'd be 1 block more than that. But that does run up right against this wall. Is that something we're okay with? I mean, honestly, yeah, I think it's fine. I think it is perfectly fine for us to run right up against the wall here. So I guess we flatten out this. I am going to need to get my shovel out for that. Honestly, I do think statues is one part of my vision for this place that I have not yet really incorporated, but I absolutely do want statues, because the way that I envision all of this coming together is something of an acropolis, is it? Like just this incredible marble wonder dedicated to all of the legends that's you there. And I think statues would just, it's got to be a part of it, right? So down here is the first, but I am hoping it is not the last. I do want to find other places to put them. Well, we've got square number 1 cleared out at least. I'm not perfectly certain yet how much of this is path versus grass. This probably comes in, right? Staircase doesn't need to be that large, but I do want it to be big still. I want a dramatic staircase. So that would probably be at least 5 blocks wide, if not maybe up to 7. Surprisingly, I've actually centered this perfectly, just eyeballing it, as far as I can tell. So that right there is where I'd expect a staircase to be placed, and then this, we could go one of 2 routes. Either it does take you just down into the caves so that we have access to what's all the way down below, or I could continue running it perfectly diagonally, right? And it would go like this, and I think it might just be able to connect out, like out the side of the mountain. That would be so sick. It would take so much work, but it would be really sick. Like, I can imagine just how huge and cool these stairs would be. Although, counter argument to that idea, let me see if I can't turn my render distance up. I can't. Oh well. Well, up here, if we look, I mean, I could just say it. There isn't really there's nothing here. This is just terrain. No one lives here or anything, so I don't know why there would be a staircase in this direction unless we do new things over here. And I did talk about, I do think it's a cool area, so maybe, but I'm just not sure. Okay, so I want to be able to put names around here. I really do. Here's what we can do, right? If we do a 2-block path on either side, that leaves us 4. Wait, this isn't even an odd number? What? Okay, if we go in 1 block on either side, we would have a surrounding of grass blocks. And I think just like here on the backside, we could have garden space for names. Now, I guess here in the middle, I'm just going to fill in with stone for the time being, but I know that at some point, I want this to be the base of a big fancy statue. Okay, how are we feeling here? Okay, it definitely is actually taking shape, I feel like. So we need to go backwards with something over here. Also, I do think I want to come right here and add a small garden space in this. So I guess we could just do rows, right? There's nothing wrong with having some simple rows, maybe in a brick layout, right? We already have a line coming through right here. Presumably we could have one in the center, and then we can do alternating bricks of grass. It's an idea. So let's assume this right. Yeah, that's big. That's too big for a brick. Okay. Let's say this is. So now I would want to presumably split this into like here and then maybe on the edge. Yeah, I'm not going anywhere, right? I don't know what I'm doing. The math isn't working out anyways, so scrap the brick idea, I guess. Well, unless, okay, what if a brick is like 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then this would be a brick? It doesn't line up with this weird 2x2 path. The 2x2 path makes no sense. Okay, what if instead we go back with the 2x2 paths in squares, going in front of the statues, and then maybe we could manage to stretch the brick concept into happening in the remaining center space, right? So this line comes 1 block off of the side of here. We go out 2 blocks, and this is where we would be turning the corner. So this is a brick. 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's an even number, which means it isn't going to be able to be centered. Okay, what if we just thicken it on the edge? Yeah, how annoying is that, right? How much do I dislike that? Do I dislike it to an extent where I'm willing to throw away a mildly interesting idea for it? Well, let's see the idea in application, right? So we have a gap, and then boom, we start another 4 blocks again. Presumably we want a similar width and length. So this is 10, 20, 23, right? So we'd want to go back 23. We're going 4, 3, 7. So if we repeat it 3 times, that's a approximate square. Let's just say that it's 10, 11. So we make it 11 blocks wide. It's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on either side, like this. Okay, so now 3 blocks after this ends, we're going to open up again and use grass. And I guess this can connect into whatever's happening over here. Man, unplanned builds can be some of the coolest. But also, wow, is it difficult to do stuff without any kind of plan beforehand? So right now the idea is kind of warping into, we have these brick style panels, but they don't. Yeah, what is this? What am I doing? Oh, the way that's off center is just horrible. Bone chilling. Hey. Yeah, maybe it helps after all if this is extended, so then there's 1, 2, 3 on this side and 1, 2, 3, 4 on the other side. Yeah, that's what I had in mind. We can make the center line really thick. I don't know why we would do that, but it fixed that, but it's weird and stupid. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. This block. Here. There's gonna be a fountain here. Duh. Okay, so what happens because there's a fountain here? Well, that reshapes the path. There's good reason to open this up. In fact, we can make it wider, right? Let's just make a whole circle, a plaza right here. So we can hit B, enable, and increase the size. This is a pretty good scale. Fill this in entirely. I mean, it's halfway already there, right? Okay, sure. This is a plaza. There's some worthwhile garden space here on the corners, right? And now we win, right? We did it. I wanna fatten it up. I absolutely want to fatten it up. I like the idea of the plaza. I like the idea of the big circle, but we need it a little bigger and a little more plaza-y. Okay, now are we... It's hard to make a circle at this scale. It's very hard to make a circle at this scale. We could do this a little bit. I don't want to make it much bigger than this, though. I really don't. Okay. That's something. Something's happening here. This block is happening here. This is something, right? I've made a shape. Now, what does the shape do? Well, I feel like this continues down. I can say that somewhat confidently. Yeah. Okay, deliberating. Yeah. I'm confused. I don't know how to feel about this. I mean, it's not terrible, but I just don't know that I'm seeing the vision right now. And it's my vision. I am the visionary, and I don't know what this is. I mean, it's a big, strange plaza. I kind of just want to just open this up. Like, might as well, right? Big, thick line through the center. Okay, that makes me feel a little better. Oh, it's an egg. I made an egg. I made an egg. This isn't what I wanted. Okay, it should get less eggy if I do that, but then what is this anymore? What am I making anymore? What's the point of any of this? If I extend this by one more block, how does that make me feel? Makes me feel like a defeated man. If I do it on the other side, it's kind of interesting. This is kind of interesting to look at. I don't understand it. I mean, I guess I do, right? Imagine this as like 2 by 2 pixels, right? In that case, it's going out 1 on each side. But then, we're getting some weird sub-pixel measurements going on here with this, which I don't... What if... It's interesting. It's very weird, though. Am I okay with this? If this is 2 by 2 pixels, then why is the center... Why is it a 1 block center in that case? Is that okay? Am I okay with this? How am I going to... Am I going to build this? That? Yeah. I think it's getting better. I definitely think it's getting better. Okay. What if we just open this up? Right? Okay. Here, that is better. That's a lot better, actually. I have no idea what I've been doing, but I definitely think it's improving, and I do like the idea of this quote-unquote circle that stands before the grand staircase that descends to wherever we decide its destination is. I think I like that. I mean, it's weird, but I don't know, man. I don't know. I feel like some of my best builds in this world have been a result of, I don't really like this, but then I kept working on it and just believed in the heart of the cards until it worked out, right? Maybe I just have to have faith that this down here is going to soon become one of my favorite places in this world, and I'm going to look back on it with great pride and joy. Okay, I've got a little more progress. You can absolutely see the shape of what we have here. It is what it is, right? I think with the two big statues, we can still have quite an interesting concept here. I mean, the two statues in the fountain. It is interesting, and coming up, the fountain and the statues are the first thing you see. I see the vision. I do. I am beginning to see. But I still do want to think about what happens after this, right? Gazebo over here. How do we get to that point? Well, we could have a semicircle right here, right? Or I guess it helps if you could see my crosshair. A semicircle, something like this, that would connect us up into where we would see the gazebo path come out. The gazebo should probably be something at least slightly standalone. I don't even know if I would want it on its own platform, or if I would want it sat out here where you walk down the stairs off of the main garden into the gazebo to overlook spawn. But something along those lines, where that semicircle could... I could almost see it connecting. If we made that back there the corner, how much would it take for the circle to get way out? It would have to be a very big circle, wouldn't it? Like, we keep growing the circle until it connects to there. That's... cutting it close. Definitely cutting it close, yeah. I mean, still, it's not that bad if we go the alternative route of the gazebo is sat on a segment of garden. We could do like a kind of diagonal chunk, diagonal square come out from here, and then the gazebo rests on that. But it does slightly kill off what I do think is already a really strong spot for a gazebo, so I don't know. Actually, yeah, the semicircle isn't even considering having grass around it afterwards. Like, this would be very, very big. Very big, yeah. I could see a circle like this, though, right? This still has the semicircle, but it's a little smaller. And we could maybe reasonably put a staircase coming down from here to the gazebo. I do think I like that. I like that considerably ow. Okay, but the one thing we'd have to consider, right? Let's say the path is only too wide on the outer side of the circle. It connects into this and it goes around. It would need to go 1, 2 more for us to have garden space. So this would be garden space, and then from this block, a staircase. Is that too little? We can dig the staircase in. I like that. I guess on a similar note over here, we could do another semicircle if we wanted. But I do think actually, just because the way the terrain already is, diagonal line would be better, right? We come out so much further with this path, or I guess this specific road here, and then boom, sharp angle turn into this. We connect it up. Actually, perfectly against the corner would be pretty nice if we could. I do believe the beacon is still the very center of this. So going directly out from that, what are we looking at? I believe we would be connecting to this block next to the crafting table. I don't mind that. I don't mind that at all, I don't think. So that would need to go out from here, turn, connect to this, and then this goes up and around a semicircle. Huh. It's an interesting shape, to be certain. And all of that, more or less, just to get us connected up to the Halo. Just because I had this one idea, I was just like, oh, this is the perfect place for a circle. And it has led to all of this work. But I do think it... I don't... Thing is, I don't want to overcommit to things and then end up with a result I'm really not happy with, but at the same time, I don't know, I do just kind of want to let loose and build whatever, right? So it is a struggle between those two wants at the moment. I do think I will leave the episode a little bit short there. I have been quite busy, and I have yet more to work on, unfortunately. So my time is slightly limited for these videos at the moment, but I do thank you for watching. Let me know if you have any ideas for the garden down below, or any input on the direction I have been taking, because these are some very big strides, and I do want to make it as cool as it can be. For the time being, though, I believe I am going to be seeing you there tomorrow. Bye-bye.